Have you ever wondered why your meditation practice feels stuck? You sit there every day. You manage to make it a habit, hopefully. You've been even to retreats, but even at some point it's working and you may tell everyone, yeah, I'm meditating and you're so proud of yourself and everything is just nice. At some point you hit a wall. Your practice feels stuck. And why that happens, and most importantly, how you get over that and you make real progress with meditation. Most meditation traditions give you certain basic instructions of what to do. For example, like, let's say follow your breath, or repeat this mantra, or hear sounds in certain ways, or follow your body in certain ways. There's a basic instruction and it works pretty well, but at some point you just notice that it's not working anymore. So why is that happening? Well, first thing, if you pay attention to what a technique is, here's the secret to all meditation techniques. You have to actually be present and notice and be attentive. The quality of your meditation, the results of your meditation, how good you're going to feel after your meditation or during your meditation, hopefully, it is related to the quality of your attention when you're meditating. So instead of making so much emphasis in if you're focusing on your breath or doing this other thing and this other meditation, here's the reason why most people actually fail. The quality of their attention is not so good. So even you've been to the highest teachings with the retreat where everything was just so worldwide class, super important, and the super teacher, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter which is your favorite teaching. In the end of the day, whatever the meditation is, if you cannot be fully present with whatever the instruction of the meditation is, you cannot perform the meditation. So the situation most people find themselves without noticing, as no one ever taught them criteria for quality of their attention, is that they start paying attention, for example, to the breath. And at some point, they just get distracted. You try not to be distracted, but you can't help it. It just happens. You end up thinking about something because you're there, oh, I should focus on my breath, and you go back over and over again. And if you've been going through that, probably you're even good at that. At some point, most people kind of like sit and space out. And as much as that may feel comfortable, just there, okay, I'm just doing this. I'm supposed to be this, and nothing seems to happen. You're kind of comfortable following your breath, okay, but nothing really happens. That is another extreme of the problem, is when you are just so lax, your attention is so not vivid. The opposite is it's just dull. You're just sitting in there, just doing this thing, and nothing happens. There's nothing excited about it. There's nothing revolutionary, life-changing. You don't feel that it's doing anything. That's because you're being too lax. So there's a sweet spot in between them. And the reason why your meditation gets stuck is not because of you. It's not your fault that happens. It's because you didn't understand this and no one ever told you. So let's fix that. So what do we do when you have to fix something in your life? You just put more effort into it. That's what you've been told. And that's why your meditation also gets stuck. Because actually that cannot work. Meaning meditation is way more subtle. You're going backwards into the source of who you are. And you cannot just add all these things. I'm going to just focus harder. I'm just going to do this. I hear all the time people telling me, oh, now I sit for 45 minutes, 1 hour, but my body's still kind of hurting. And, you're still not getting the meditation. You're still not enjoying your meditation. It should be enjoyable and it should be peaceful. It should be transformative. You should notice a profound difference. It's not just about like sticking with it. So what you've been missing is not more effort or more motivation or a new technique. What you're missing is the roadmap of how your relationship to the technique is. Because in the beginning, you're given these instructions and you do them. But after a while, you don't know why it's not working. And the reason for that is because you don't understand how your attention has to slowly fine-tune into it, again, to whatever meditation you throw at me, focusing on your breath or repeating a mantra or following certain parts of your body in certain ways, or it just doesn't matter what combination of meditation is. In the core of the meditation, there is this subtle balancing between trying a little too hard and you get restless, your mind just gets worse. You cannot just push your mind into being stable. That doesn't happen, although we've been trained to say, concentrate. So whether you do that, or as I explained before, you just loosen up a little too much. And if you don't notice that, you can practice, and I'm not exaggerating, you can practice for many, 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 many years. And yes, your meditation, when you see it, it will feel a bit better than the rest of your life, which may be more stress and more restless in some way. But still, it is not making a clear difference. It's all these transformative effects of understanding non-duality, practically integrating feelings of peace and joy. That doesn't seem to be changing. You're still facing the same problems. If that's happening, it is not because the meditation is wrong. Honestly, I think most of the meditations actually do work. But it's the map, the levels, the understanding of how you fine-tune. Because in the beginning, you are someone, but as you practice, you need to find ways of refining that level of accuracy of your attention on the object of the meditation. And that's the way. You pick any object, you pick any meditation, and it really changes your life fully, because it undoes all the chaos and all the confusion in your mind, literally. And you can focus literally in any object. So whatever your meditation, I'm not saying change your meditation, do this other meditation instead. I'm saying rise the quality of your meditation. If you want to get started with this, I recommend you always a couple of books. This one, The Attention Revolution. I will leave the details in the description. And in these books, you find a traditional way of approaching what I'm suggesting you, making this balancing of attention that has been proven for hundreds and hundreds of years, actually more around double time than that. Anyway, in this book, for example, you will find clear instructions on why most people, for example, I had a meeting, an expat meeting here in Berlin, and I was just meeting literally like 10, 20, 30 people sometimes who were coming from any part of the world, just going by Berlin. And we were meditating together. I was mostly leading meditations. And afterwards talking to them. Most people, even people who did retreats and did hard work for a long time, they weren't able to go through beyond stage 3, 4 sometimes. And in this system, there are 10 stages. So 3, 4, you can imagine, it is not, it's good, as I was explaining before, it's better than nothing. It's better than the people who don't meditate, but it's not getting you the radical transformation in your life. So I'm saying this because get this book or get this system in a different book. There's another book called The Mind Illuminated. I can also leave the deets in the description. And get one of these books if you don't know them. And you will be able to go through understanding what happens when, so you can adjust, because you need to sort of adjust your practice in certain ways to be able to follow through this. Otherwise, most people, without noticing, they are just getting there. So if this is the case, that you feel that your meditation could be better, but you don't know how, get this book or get the other book, or just maybe find someone who can teach you directly. But you need someone to level up the quality of attention in your meditation. But let me explain you in a nutshell how this works. You're sitting to meditate. Again, the example of the breath, because it's the most generic probably. You're focusing on your breath, and whether you have too many thoughts, your mind just disconnects completely and you don't even notice that. You find yourself, I'm thinking about something else. I should go back to the breath. If that happens, you're pushing too hard. Your mind is too restless. Imagine that it's like a kid that cannot sit on the table. You just gently and calmly bring it back. It has a lot to do with relaxation, with, hey, great, you can keep on playing with that toys later. Now just relax and sit on the table. So it's about smoothing in. At some point you enter in this zone where you have the attention. But unfortunately, most of the time, when people start doing that, at some point, they just go through this ideal level and they go lower, and then you start being so comfy in your meditation that you go into some sort of like passive, as if you were attending to something boring. and nothing's okay. It's not, you feel fine, but nothing's really groundbreaking. If that's the case, then what you have to do is to a generic thing you can do that probably gonna work. I'm just guessing where you could be. It's just like straighten your spine. Sometimes open. If you're meditating like this, you will tend to fall asleep. If you're meditating with a bit more of a straight head, or even some people like to compensate by lifting it a little bit. Also, you can do it with your eyes. You can open your eyes temporarily in your meditation to kind of wake up a little bit and kind of just get interest, not effort, just interest in the object. And in this way, you learn to go back from the bottom right on the sweet spot. And at some point, you find you're just, and it feels like you're taking off. The whole meditation kind of collapses into your mind, gets unified, and you're there with the object. So if you're practicing correctly with your meditation, you should be gaining deep focus, the capacity of being more stable, of being more attentive than people who don't meditate. You may start in a place where you feel a little like, oh, I'm so bad at, I'm always distracted. And so, the phone, I cannot help it. Like a drug addict, we are just distracted all the time. Don't worry if you start from there. Everybody starts from there. In the beginning, your mind is crazy. That's okay. It happens to everyone. But if you practice correctly, this is very important. You should feel that your attention is deeper and calmer than most people around you. And also, you may find yourself that you are more emotionally grounded. Compared to before, you notice that now that you meditate every day, maybe once or twice, you find that you don't have the same strong reactions. Everything feels calmer, more at peace, and you're not so strongly, you're not so negative. You don't have so many thoughts that are kind of like making you worry or making you feel bad about yourself in any way. You feel more emotional resilience. You're just better in the sense of like calmer. And there's a third perk that comes more like in the later stages when you really refine and fine-tune your attention, stay there long enough, you start piercing the grounding of reality. You start understanding why things are the way they are and why you're experiencing the way you're experiencing them. And you understand the whole thing. You don't need to read more books, actually. You don't need to get any wisdom from the outside. You tap right there into your own natural wisdom. So if you fine-tune your mind and you balance it and you let it rest with perfect attention, consistently, continuously with an object, after a while, insights, which is a technical word for understanding, suddenly you just understand things. Why? Because you can see them clearly. And you start understanding not just your problems that you have at work or in relationships. You start understanding why the experience of you being here and now, it is made moment by moment. You get an insight on how reality actually is. So if you find that your practice is stuck, don't worry. Just relax. This happens to everyone. You didn't have the right information. So you, as much as you sit to meditate and as much as you make it longer, still didn't change anything. That's not your fault. You just didn't have the roadmap on how to relate and how to stabilize your attention on whatever is your preferred meditation practice. You just need to find the right way of understanding how to get better at whatever the meditation you're doing. And you notice that by your capacity to stay relaxed, calm, and at the same time clear and bright and present. If you're able to have these two extremes where you balance up and down, regardless if you are too excited or too dull, that's how you will get to a point where you will feel that every meditation you make, it changes your life, every single one. And of course, if you do this regularly, at some point, you will start finding that you're really killing it in your life in so many aspects. You feel that your life is just flowing. You feel that your days are full of everything. You feel that you sleep better. You feel that you don't care so much about the things that scare you even. You're just doing what you have to do, always in the right moment, always feeling good about it. It's that easy. You can do it. Anyone can do it. But you need to detox your mind from distraction and dullness and all these imbalances in your own mind. Otherwise, what's the point of living? Everything you do with your mind during your whole day, if your mind is not balanced, it's not going to be worth it. That's why it's so important to pick sometimes in your day, reserve some time to balance your attention. Just whatever meditation you like, just stay there. And if you feel that you get stuck, remember what I said, get one of these books, or I also have you'll find a link where I explain kind of what these 10 stages are in videos. You can join that. And also there's a community of people that you can discuss about this. So in a nutshell, just see it, practice, but also demand from your practice results. It's very important you do that. Not just I do meditate, I check my calendar, oh, I do mindfulness or whatever. No, you have to demand results. It should change your life from the inside out. And everything should change, every moment of every experience. This is, of course, a progressive path, but you should notice that you're going deeper, that you're going calmer, that your life is being brighter, that your life is filled with all you actually ever wanted. Fullness of experience, fulfillment, here and now, no matter what.